I fell in love with the Mets from my first experience at Shea Stadium. The grandeur of that ballpark, the sound of Jane Jarvis's organ, it felt like the friendliest place on earth. And sitting there in the upper deck at Shea, you felt as though you were a king sitting on an enormous throne. I grew up wanting to be a shortstop for the Mets, like my hero, Bud Harrelson. But I realized early on, I didn't have the talent, that I couldn't be one of these extraordinary athletes who play the game at its highest level. But I could love the game, I could study the game, I could breathe the game, and with that breath, give voice to the millions who love baseball and love the Mets. For my 9th birthday, I received the gift of an AM radio. On that radio, I discovered my broadcasting heroes, Marv Albert, Merle Harmon, Lindsey Nelson, Ralph Kiner, and especially Bob Murphy, who for so many summers was the sound of Mets baseball. I had the privilege to share 15 of those summers on the radio with Murph, and I am so thrilled that this season his microphone at long last was raised to the rafters. Congratulations to Al and Hojo. You were two of my favorite players to watch and get to know. You were both so deserving. To my compatriot Howie, this honor means even more because I'm sharing it with you. And Jay, you've been the backbone of this franchise for nearly half a century. There are so many people who have helped me on the way to this moment. My mom, who passed away earlier this year, she was a Giants fan until the day Willie Mays became a Met. Then she became a Mets fan. Gary Sparber convinced me that warmth and humanity on the air were the path to success. Dave Rosenfield was my advocate. Frank Cashin and Mike Ryan took a chance on a young minor league announcer. Mark Mason, Mark Chernoff, and Eric Spitz always had my back. John Littner, Kurt Gowdy Jr., Steve Rabb, and Fred Wilpon convinced this radio chauvinist that his future was in television. Bill Webb taught me how to make that transition. And our current SNY team, Greg Picker, our relentlessly creative producer, as fine a leader as you could ask for. John DeMarsico, our cinematically inclined director, and our two workaholic associates, Eddie Warman and Tommy Rocklin, both of whom have limitless futures. I have been beyond fortunate to have had brilliant partners in the Mets booth, starting with Bob Murphy, who I grew up listening to under my pillow. Howie, my brother from another mother, with whom I shared 2 incredibly fun years. Ed Coleman, the nicest human being you could ever meet. And Russ Relkin, Carrie Lorberfeld, Dave Freed, Doug Mittler, and the immortal Chris Majkowski, who always make everything easier. To all the talented camera people, audio engineers, technical people, too numerous to name, television is a team sport, and we would be lost without your talent, vision, and expertise. And then there are my current partners. It all started when Keith said to Ronnie, "You do the pitchers, and I'll do the hitters." And from that one simple statement, a spectacular bond was formed. These are the brothers I never had. And all these years later, we can still make each other think and laugh and fall off our chair. The hardest job on our broadcast is the sideline reporter, and we've had 3 of the best ever, Chris Cotter, Kevin Burkhardt, and Steve Gelbs. Covering baseball, being in baseball, takes a tremendous toll on your real life. Away for weeks at a time, nights and weekends, you miss much of your family's flow. Despite that, or maybe because of it, my children, Trevor, Kira, Zach, Jess, and Jacqueline, have all grown up to be spectacular adults. I love you all. I had the good fortune to meet the love of my life when I was 17. Lynn was not a baseball fan when we first met. But then I took her to a Mets game, pointed out Lee Mazzilli in the on-deck circle, and she was hooked. Thanks for sticking with me, honey. I could not love you more. Thanks to Steve and Alex Cohen for having such great respect for the Mets and their history. You are exceptional stewards of this remarkable franchise. And every Mets fan can know that their beloved team is in the right hands. I am just a kid from Queens. I got lucky. I am one of you. And I share this honor with all of you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.